Sarah from Might Start Reading, and I'm going to share some fun, simple, and effective phonics ideas you can use with your child right away at home. Most of these tips will be geared towards early readers just learning letter sounds or phonics patterns. I do plan to do another video with fun phonics ideas for older students, but remember, even if a child is older, if they're still just learning to read, they will still need to focus on the same skills as younger readers. So these ideas can be adapted for an older age group while still working on the same overall beginning reading skills. All right, so before I give you these tips, I just want to remind you that the whole goal of phonics is to get children to apply these skills to their reading and ultimately to their comprehension. We don't just teach phonics just to teach phonics. The end goal is always going to be accurate and fluent reading, which ideally positively impacts their comprehension in the future. So with that, tip number 1, read, read, read to your child. This is probably one that you've heard countless times, but maybe you haven't really given it as much thought about why it's so important. Oral language skills are huge factors in determining future reading success. There's a lot of new research coming out about the importance and the power of oral language and its effects on all things literacy. And nothing facilitates oral language better than reading out loud to your child. It's actually even more effective than just talking with your child, because when your child is reading books, they encounter so many new and interesting words that we don't usually use in conversations alone. So having heard these words before and having heard their pronunciations, they will store them in their memories, and this will facilitate fluency and comprehension later on. So read, read, read. Also, if you do have an early reader, look for rhyming books such as Dr. Seuss. Not only are they fun and entertaining, but the exposure to rhyming words helps your child learn to listen for similar sounds within words, which helps to support phonemic awareness. If you haven't heard that term before, phonemic awareness is kind of just a fancy term for being able to hear the sounds within words, and it's a huge, very important precursor to reading. Without having phonemic awareness, phonics is not likely to stick. So I will be doing a separate video on phonemic awareness because there's just too much to it to include in this video today. All right, so tip number 2 for fun activities is to use a poppet. I'm sure you guys have these lying around your house. We have them all over our house, big ones and small ones. But using a poppet is helpful to help your child segment and spell words. So you could give your child a word such as cat, have them say the word cat, and then segment the sounds on the poppet. So k, a, t. This helps them to break down the sounds, sound segmentation, which helps them make the connection between the letter and the sound when spelling. You could even take this a step further and have them write down the word as they say it on a whiteboard or a magnet doodle to make it more fun, or just old-fashioned pencil and paper. The act of saying and writing is extremely beneficial for retention of those phonics patterns. Next, a simple idea you might be able to use at home is the use of clothespins to match letters to words or sounds. It's an easy way to encourage phonics practice at home, and for young learners, maybe with some fine motor difficulties, the act of opening and closing the clothespin helps to strengthen the muscles in the hands as well, which can benefit their handwriting. For this activity, I used pre-printed cards, though you could make your own, probably using stickers or drawings if you wanted to. Teachers Pay Teachers has a lot of these types of activities you could download, but you do have to pay most of the time. I did get these from Teachers Pay Teachers. I use these cards and then just plain regular clothespins. So your child can clip the clothespin on the picture that starts with the indicated letter sounds. So C, K, right? Cat or dog, it's gonna be K, cat. Just clip the clothespin on there. It helps to draw their attention to the first sound and the word on the picture, and then associate that sound with the letter, which is a critical skill for early readers. All right, so tip 3 is to use tactile reinforcement such as sandpaper, rice, beads, or textured glittered paper. This is textured glittered paper to practice writing letters, sounds, or words. So if your child is having difficulty remembering a particular letter or a spelling pattern, you can use the sandpaper or the rice or the glitter paper to reinforce it. Basically what you would do is you would, if you're going to use the glitter paper, you could have the letter already written on it, and it involves multi-sensory strategies which will help the patterns stick in their brains better with repeated practice. So when you're doing this, it's best for them to use 2 fingers when tracing because it creates more of a sensation and feedback in their brain. It's also best to trace it at least 3 times per letter sound pattern while saying the letter name and the sound. A, apple, A apple, A. So think of it like motor memory. You're creating memory traces in the brain with each practice, which is going to help with retention and transference to reading and spelling. So those were just some 3 quick and easy tips that you could use starting today if you would like. If you found that helpful, please let me know. Let me know if you've tried any of these activities. How did it go? Let me know. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I look forward to answering any of your questions, and look out for more videos.